Today we are taking a look at the biggest redesign in the history of the Stingray, the all-new Ernie Ball Musicman Stingray Special. So there have been a lot of changes made to this bass as far as the comfort and playability. One of the biggest and most obvious ones, and one of my favorites, is the lighter weight. This bass weighs a lot less than the previous versions, and they accomplished that by putting lightweight hardware on it. So the tuners are brand new and are lighter weight. All of the hardware on it. The bridge is an aluminum bridge, which is way lighter than the previous one. And there's also been changes to the body as far as the contour of the body. If you look at the older one, it's got kind of sharper edges. It's more of a square shape, and this one's more rounded out right here where the body meets the neck. And also right over here where your arm rests, this part right here, it's a lot rounder. It's not something that I've ever really thought needed to be changed. Like, I never felt like, man, I wish this was rounder because it'd be a lot more comfortable. But now actually having the two and comparing them side by side, it really does make a big difference. This one feels a lot nicer. It's just smoother right here, and also around the neck makes it easier to reach the higher frets. And it's also got a 5-bolt instead of a 6, and it's just rounder here and makes it easier to reach the higher frets. So just slight changes to the body that actually really made a pretty big difference, and something that I'm really enjoying. And the pickup is all new as well. It's got a pickup with neodymium magnets and an 18-volt preamp. So now you have 2 batteries in the back of it instead of 1, which gives you a lot more headroom. The Stingray has been one of my favorite basses for a long time now. I love how it sounds live. I love how it sounds in the mix. There are a wide variety of sounds you can get out of it, and it feels great to play a variety of styles. The neck feels great, and with these new improvements, the body feels amazing too. The lightweight and the contour here is really nice. This one is the Aqua Sparkle finish with an ebony fretboard. It also comes with a maple fretboard or a rosewood fretboard, depending on which finish you get. And it's got this roasted maple neck, which I'm not sure what the roasting of the maple does to the neck, if it affects the sound or the feel or playability, but I can tell you that it sounds great and it feels amazing, just like the other Stingrays. The Stingrays have always felt great. This one's no exception. And as far as the controls, they're the same ones that you used to see. We got 4 knobs. There's a volume knob, a treble, boost and cut, mid boost and cut, bass boost and cut, and then on the 5-string version there's this 3-way switch, which switches from parallel to series with the filter, which kind of mimics a single coil sound, and then all the way to the left here we have the pickup wired in series. So now let's do some playing and see how this bass actually sounds. So we're going to start with the switch in the parallel mode, which is the default wiring for a Stingray. When you get a 4-string version that doesn't have this switch, it's going to be wired in parallel. So let's start with that. So I'm going to have everything right in the middle, so no boosts or cuts, every knob in the middle, and let's see how that sounds. And now let's boost the bass all the way. And now let's cut the bass all the way. And now let's do the same thing with the mids. So the bass is back now, mids all the way up. And now let's cut the mids all the way. And now let's do the same thing with the treble, all the way up. And now let's cut the treble. Okay, and now let's keep everything flat and just see what all the three different positions sound like. So we're going to start with the parallel we've already done. So let's just go to the series with the filter, which mimics that single coil sound. And now let's try the series position. Okay, so that gives you a pretty good idea of how you can shape your sound with this bass, the versatility of it, and all the options that it gives you. And now let's play around with some different styles and see how this bass does. So let's move on to a little bit of slap playing, going back to the parallel position here, keeping everything flat, and let's see how that sounds. And now let's switch over to the series with the filter right in the middle here. Let's see how that sounds. And now the last position, which is series, all the way here to the left. Okay, and now that we've seen the three different positions, let's shape the tone a little bit and see what kind of different sounds we can get. So I'm going to go back to the parallel position, which is one of my favorites. I'm going to boost the bass a little bit and cut the mids a little bit. So I'm going about halfway in the mids and halfway on the bass. Alright, so that gives you a good idea of what all the three different positions sound like and the power of this EQ and how much you can shape your sound with it. And now let's listen to the low B on this bass, because that sounds fantastic as well. So I'm going to bring this back to everything flat here, parallel position to start. Now let's try the middle position. And now the series position. And now let's actually try out playing with a pick, because this bass does really well with that as well. I'm going to start out with the parallel position and keeping everything flat. And now let's try cutting the treble to remove that high end and see how that sounds. Now let's try adding the treble just to see the difference. now let's try boosting the mids and cutting a little bit of the treble. So I have the mids boosted like halfway and the treble cut halfway. So as you can see, great bass to play it with a pick as well. Like I said, it's a very versatile bass. You can really shape your sound with this EQ, and it sounds great with pretty much everything. I mean, solo bass playing, you guys know I love doing that on this bass. Chords just sound amazing. And one cool thing about this new version is that the 4-string now actually has 22 frets. So a lot of the solo bass arrangements I've done on this channel, I'm playing my 5-string Stingray, not because I need the 5th string, but because I need the 22nd fret. I need that range, I need that F right here in order to play some of those arrangements. And now you can actually do it with the 4-string version. So I might have to get the 4-string version as well, because now the 4-string version has those 22 frets, which is awesome. You can really get all that range, and the reachability is great because of that contour right here. So it was already a great bass for solo arrangements, and now it's even better. Just really sounds great throughout that entire range. That high end sounds great. Now let's play around with the EQ a little bit more. Here's a sound I really like for all you reggae players out there. I like cutting the treble a little bit, boost the bass a little bit. So awesome reggae sounds that you can get out of this bass as well. Let's bring this back up to flat. And of course, tapping on this is amazing too. Great tapping sound, always has had a great tapping sound, and this one really is no exception. Like I said, it's great for playing solo bass arrangements, chords, the whole extended range of it sounds great, the high end on it sounds great, and the tapping is just really nice with this fretboard and also how it sounds on this bass. And harmonics as well really ring out on this. So yeah, great versatile bass, great for a lot of different styles, sounds amazing live. And one more thing I want to touch on before we wrap things up here, because I had a few people asking me about the G-string issue, because I did a review on my older Stingray a while ago on this channel where I pointed out that the G-string is very close to the edge of the fretboard, and if you try to do like a pull-off, it would come off the fretboard, and people are asking me if they fixed that issue for this version. It is a little bit better. If you pull too hard on it, it will come out, but if you're careful with it, you're actually able to do it a lot more than you were on the last one. So it is a little bit better than the last one, but it still has a little bit of that issue. But other than that, this bass is really fantastic. I'm loving this new version. I don't know if I'll even go back to playing my old version live just because the weight of this bass is just perfect. It feels amazing. And when you're standing up, it really balances really well. It feels really nice. Just a great, great bass. I'm really loving. I'm loving the finish on this one, the ebony fretboard. So Yeah, fantastic bass. I'm really happy with it. So that is the new Ernie Ball Musicman Stingray Special. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope it gave you a better idea of what to expect with this bass. I personally love it. I love the changes they made. It feels great, sounds great, plays great. Really is just a perfect bass for me. And if you guys have any questions, just leave it in a comment and I'll try my best to answer it for you. And with that being said, I will see you guys soon.